Hey guys, welcome out Movement for another Tech Tuesday. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to bleed Shimano brakes. If you watched the previous video and you have a Shimano, like a bike with Shimano components, and you're like, this is how you bleed Shimano components, you're wrong. That's how you bleed Sram components. Look at this video, Shimano components. Let's get started. We're going to have fun together. We're going to talk. We're going to experience things together for the first time. It's not the first time for me, but maybe it is for you. To start off, you're going to take off the back wheel like you did. Almost everything is the same as the previous bike, except for just some tiny bitty stuff. Take out the back wheel. You're gonna need a 5 to get that off. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say 5, I don't know what to do for you. You probably shouldn't be bleeding your bike. I'm kidding. 5 Allen screw. Take that off. Put that somewhere nice where you'll remember where it's at. Get your pliers, your needle pliers. Depending on what kind of setup you have, you'll need it for different situations. But you need to take the brake pads out. Take your brake pads out. And previous as last time, this is where you retrieve gloves. Retrieve gloves. Put your gloves on before you touch any brake pad. Get like a paper towel, like clean paper towel, where your brake pads can be safe. Take the brake pads out. This is key. Take them out. Usually when I bleed brakes, I clean the brake pad surface, clean out the rotor and things like that. I'm not going to do that today because I know the condition of this bike. This is one of our demo bikes. Take out your T25. Like previously, you want your brake to be facing up. And I'm just going to be bleeding the rear brake today because it's very similar like previous to the last. Then you want to move, so that's a screw. You want to move your brake out as far as it will go. That's pretty far. Next, you want to get your brake spacer. They kind of look like these. You can use cardboard if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. They're very inexpensive. Push your brake pads in. Be careful not to leverage on anything like important, like on Sram brakes. Just push them back in. Next, put your spacer in. This is one of the reasons why I do not like Shimano brakes. I come from like a mechanical aspect. On Sram brakes, it's more of like a wedge, where Shimano, it's just kind of like a thing that just goes in there, and like it has a lot of movement. It's like very finicky. I don't really care for that. Now, at this point, you can prepare your syringes. You can use gloves for this because if the oils get on your hand, it can burn. I'm used to it. I have a lot of calluses and things like that, so I don't really feel it. You don't want to use used brake fluid. You want to make sure that it's new. You can tell by the color. And then Shimano's going to have different fluid than Sram brakes. And check with your owner's manual, and they'll tell you, exactly what you need and exactly what you want to use. And then the big difference between Shimano brakes is that they have these little cups that you're going to put right here. Prepare your syringe. I do, quite a bit in there, and you kind of want to get the bubbles out. There's no real good way to do it with these. Basically what a brake bleed is you're taking the liquid in the brake lines and you're getting all of the air out. It's kind of like moving back and forth through the brake, and then the brake arm, so you just kind of want the fluid to have no air bubbles through here.
Okay, go ahead.
Shimano oil, you're just going to put like a little bit. Just so that when you're bleeding, the brake fluid doesn't like touch air, it touches more Shimano fluid. This is your bleed valve port. You're going to take off your little rubber end cap. And then I think it's either an 8 or a 7 in my bike. Grab your 7 and open this up. It's like opening the valve with your T25 on your Sram models. Then you put your syringe in, and you start, and then you take your plunger out at this end, push the fluid through. And you're just looking for air bubbles until you're almost out of fluid. Then you want to go up to this end, you want to check for discoloration or anything like that. And I'm actually seeing quite a bit of discoloration, which I don't like. So we're going to put the plunger in, take the syringe out, and we're going to refill it with some more oil. I'm going to do a little bit more since I'm seeing discoloration. Syringe is back on. Take the plunger out. Go until you don't see any more discoloration, and you'll literally be able to see like the dirt or like the bad oil coming out through the syringe. Now the next step, kind of up for debate on what you need to do or not, but I do it a little bit different, and it's always worked for me. And since this was bad oil, I'm going to take this oil out. You want to be careful with these because they can be de-threaded very easily. Take that out. Fresh oil. And I take the fluid back through, usually just once. Very slow. And I'm looking for any discoloration on my end, and then also trying to get all these air bubbles out. As I'm seeing it, I'm seeing that the color is really good. There's no black color, there's no, it's just kind of like a bright red. But now that I'm at the end of that, I'm just gonna push it through one more time on that end, and I'm seeing that there is no more discoloration there either. So that kind of tells me that I've had a successful bleed. I'm telling myself that I'm done. But you can do that as many times as you want. Close off that valve, take off your syringe, and then you're gonna finish up here. You want to finish your brake bleed up here, and so you want to squeeze your brake lever, and then hit your brake line. Try to just shake all bubbles out. And then I said I'd do this in the previous one. Zip tie. Squeeze it down. And then what you want to do is you want to point your bike upward. Try not to spill anything. You don't want to get any of this fluid anywhere. Go make yourself a cup of coffee. Have it like sit here with this squeeze, and then you can come and just hit stuff. See what happens. I only do this if I'm like, if I keep bleeding something and it's not bleeding well. You see it, just kind of push all those air bubbles out. All right, so we're back at the bike. We're going to bring it back down, plunger in, dispose of this according to like your state or stuff like that. Don't put it like in your waterways. Don't dump it down the sink. It kind of sucks. Brake screw back in. It went tight. You don't want it to be crazy though. Take like a clean rag. I'm gonna come. 825. So basically, you're just reversing everything you did previously. Read your manuals on what you need to torque it with. It's torqued. And if you heard that thundering in the distance, that is Max's Jeep. I'm expecting an entry of him any second now. 1, 2, 3.
That was perfect.
There he is.
Okay, say it again.
Test to see if your brake bleed will be successful. So, squeeze it once, not where I want it. See if it does it again. As you can see, that is a successful brake bleed. Voila, there you go. You're good to go. That's it. Thanks for tuning in again for another brake bleed moment. Tune in next week to Tuesday, Tech Tuesdays, and then tune in to Friday. We always post a video, and we'll be coming out with some really cool stuff. So peace and deuces.